This is April O'Neil, live at Sci-Fi Valley Con, and look who I'm with, Rob Paulsen. Rob, how are you doing so far today?
Well, as I just said, I'm breathing and I'm not in jail, but the day's not over yet. I'm doing pretty well, April. You look fabulous.
Well, thank you.
How come I got older when we started doing Turtles 30-odd years ago, and you look younger than springtime?
Well, you sound the same, so, you know.
Oh, thank you. All right. That's very diplomatic. Thank you.
So you were the voice of my childhood.
Thank you.
Raphael, Carl Weezer, who's not up there.
Do you like Carl?
I do.
Don't forget to finish your croissant. Jimmy's mom is hot.
And of course, Yakko and Pinky.
Yes.
I didn't even know you were Snowball until right now.
How about that?
How did I not know that?
Thank you. Still searching for my testicles. Thank you.
Since you voiced two different turtles, I want to know which turtle does your personality most align with in real life?
Definitely Raphael. I'm a bit of a
The
smart ass.
Sassmaster. I can see that.
But honestly, well, look, you're here, and you weren't even born when we did the first batch.
This is true.
And this franchise is absolutely not only world class, but it's so powerful. It has inspired so many creative people. I've been involved in, well, 3 different versions. I was Raphael on the original, and then Donatello in the 2012 version on Nickelodeon. And then I directed the most recent iteration called Rise of the TMNT. I was the voice director. And honestly, I would be very hard-pressed to find a more successful, no pun intended, evergreen franchise that has meant so much to so many people. Honestly, these events are so heartwarming. We make our living in LA. But when I come to these events, honestly, when I see how deeply Yakko, Pinky, Carl, Raphael, Donatello connect with people and their families, their children, it's mind-blowing. So I'm a very lucky turtle, and thank you for keeping the whole thing alive. This is great.
Well, this is a really good week for you guys to be here because the video game Shredder's Revenge.
It's killing it.
It just came out yesterday.
Yes, apparently it's killing it.
I haven't had time to play it, but I have friends who have, and they
Great.
just say it feels like an old arcade game
Isn't
with the
that great?
nostalgia of the
Yeah, and
old
we're in it.
series. And, well, yeah.
How about that?
What was it like to step back into the shell again?
It was great to be with, all the guys in the sewer, the recording sewer. What really is kind of sweet is the people who end up recording us are, your age, maybe a little bit older. But as soon as we start going, turtle power, they start going like, oh my God, I don't know why oh my God,
I can imagine.
that's my childhood. And it happens with Yakko and Pinky. It's just glorious. But to see the way that fans of 2 and sometimes 3 generations have embraced this particular franchise is nothing short of remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable.
Speaking of the Animaniacs, there was the Hulu revival.
Yes, we have 2 seasons out now, and the 3rd one is dropping in November. And you and Casey Jones, your beautiful photographer, get free tickets to the water tower. And you're in Burbank. Yes, of course.
What do you think? What was the biggest difference between the first Animaniacs and the latest series, from your perspective?
I think that there were certainly cultural differences. There are things that we couldn't get away with now because our culture has changed, and I think for the better. We have to be more respectful and more sensitive to different people's circumstances. We can't take too much license with saying, hello, nurse. Although when I say it, people laugh generally. I've never had anybody be offended by it. But it's a different time. However, the genius behind Animaniacs was that the edict from Mr. Spielberg at the time was, we don't condescend to the audience. We assume that they'll get it. We write it for kids and adults. And now people who are your age will see jokes on the old Animaniacs and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
How did they get away with that?
Some of them went right over my head as a kid, and I rewatched some of the old ones, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was... My parents probably love that, but...
Yeah, and now, Yakko, Tress MacNeille, Dot, yours truly, Yakko and Pinky, and Dr. Scratch and Sniff, and Jess Harnell as Wacko, and Maurice LaMarche as the Brain. We have a great crew of writers who are probably your age, maybe 5, 6 years older. And they all grew up watching that stuff. So they were utterly inspired to become professional writers in Hollywood, and their dream gig is working on Animaniacs. And of course, they're children of this culture. So they come up with things that we don't understand, but they're incorporated in the new version, and it works beautifully. Also, the Animaniacs are very self-aware right from the first episode.
They're always breaking the fourth wall.
We've been out of it for 25 years, and I'm really proud of it. It's doing really well on Hulu. The 2012 Nickelodeon Turtles, on which I was Donnie,
yes,
it just got released on Netflix, and it's in the top 10 in the country. Unbelievable.
I love seeing the shows I grew up with being brought back for the newer generation.
It's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think some of them have aged well. The humor is still it's classic, timeless humor, but it is nice just seeing a more modern.
Exactly.
It's weird when they pull out cell phones or something, but I love it.
Well, there's the first episode of Animaniacs, the new one, which are all on Hulu, by the way. There's a point at which the Animaniacs are trying to learn what they've missed in the last 25 years. Still can't believe I'm saying that. A quarter of a century. And this woman says, everything you need to know is on this tablet. And Yakko says, everything in the world, all of the knowledge of the world in one easy-to-swallow tablet? And he swallows it and he goes, the internet, Queen Bey, we've missed so much. And it's really smart. And the music is great. I get to sing fantastic songs, and people still love United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. It's crazy.
I've always wondered, you can sing that song right off the top of your head,
yes,
but can you do it while pointing to the countries on a map?
Probably not. I would hurt myself.
That would be really hard.
But it's a remarkable song. It still gets people, when we do it live with different orchestras, it's like our Stairway to Heaven. People go nuts. It's great.
What's your favorite song after Yakko's World?
Probably, there are a couple. There's one that goes, it's a great big universe and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney. You might think that you're essential. Try inconsequential. You're a big universe and we're not. But there is only one of you. That makes you special. There's one that goes, there are 50,000 different kinds of animals. And there are 50,000 more that used to be. There are insects here en masse, and a trillion blades of grass, and a lot of fish down underneath the sea. There gotta be a couple million spiders, 150 billion butterflies and bees, but a bunch of different mammals like those elephants and camels, and a bunch, half a million, zillion billion trees. But there is only one of you. That makes you special. Yes, there is no one else exactly like you are, because you're unique and you're terrific. You're kind of real specific. There's no one else the same as the person you became. In fact, you're kind of weird, but I dig you just the same, because you're the only one of you there are. How's about that?
I was hoping I could get you to sing for me.
Oh, honey, anytime.
I think you keep coming back to this con because it's in Altoona, and you love saying Altoona.
Altoona! I'm in the cartoona business. How can you say Altoona, right? No, it's a great show. Casey and his crew do a magnificent job. This is fortunately my third time here. And the people who come up kind of echo my sentiments, and that is that it's a really well-run show. It's big enough to garner a lot of great vendors and a great audience, but it's small enough that you can get around. If your kids are here and they got to go to the bathroom, it doesn't take an hour.
That's a key. That is key.
When you go to Comic-Con in San Diego, it's great when I go because I get to go through the back door and everything's beautiful. But if you're there with a couple of kids,
waiting in line for hours.
Oh my God, you can maybe see one panel a day, and you're like this on the floor, and a hot dog and a Coke is $12. And there are 200,000 people there over the weekend.
That's a lot of people.
So this show is absolutely one of my favorite.
Speaking of panels, the Turtle panel is Saturday at 4:30 p.m.
Great.
That's going to be incredible.
I
cannot wait. I'm going to do my best to be there.
Yay.
Yes. Now, my last question is the most important. You have played two different Turtles, and as we all know, the Turtles love their pizza. But what are Rob Paulsen's favorite pizza toppings?
Well, Rob Paulsen's favorite probably is artichokes, green peppers. I know it. You like artichokes?
Artichokes, yes.
Oh, I love artichokes. Mushrooms and Canadian bacon, ham, whatever. and extra tomato sauce. Raphael's favorite pizza is hot fudge, marshmallow, tuna fish, and Doritos.
Without the tuna fish, it might be all right.
Yeah.
The tuna fish.
A side of Tums.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Rob, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
I'm really
Thank
happy
you.
to have you here.
It's
Come
great
meet Rob
pleasure.
Paulsen at Sci-Fi Valley Con,
Yeah.
everyone.
Good night, everybody.